May God give every girl a Mordecai in your family. Dr. Lester Sumrall is going to be with the Lord. I met him in person, worshipped in his church several times in South Bend, Indiana. It is him that said that if in your lifetime you have one friend that is loyal, he says, you are rich. One friend, not 10. If you have one friend that is committed, dedicated, loyal to you, standing firm and strong, caring, you are rich. As at the time I heard that statement, I think I was in my 50s. It didn't make much sense. I kept wondering, there are too many people to be friends with. Why just one person? But at this stage, I've come to appreciate what it means. In your lifetime, there's somebody you can call. You can predict what the person can say. You can predict the thought pattern, how the person will process what you are communicating. Somebody, loyalty has to be a strong foundation for trust, honesty, and caring. When your loyalty is earned, it is one of the most valuable things you can give someone. Let me use an illustration that will help us from the scriptures in the book of Esther and Mordecai. You know the story. Mordecai was Esther's uncle, but when her parents died, he took her in as his own daughter, the Bible tells us. And she grew up under the covering, the authority of Mordecai in Mordecai's home. And that's the way Mordecai took care of Esther, the kind of authority that he was in her life, endeared Mordecai to her heart. They were slaves, both Mordecai, his wife Esther, and maybe the rest of his children. They were slaves in a foreign land. So it wasn't like, a rich man. They had everything they needed. No, they were slaves. So I imagine it wasn't just about the material things, the physical things that Mordecai would have given to Esther, because authority goes beyond physical things that you give. Parents that think all their children need is just buy them this, buy them that, buy the other one, whatever they ask, give them. One of your children will one day tell you, not even tell you, will shock you by the direction their lives will go, because the buying wasn't really it. So Mordecai endeared himself to Esther's heart. I remember the home I grew up in. The man of the house, they were not my parents, but the man of the house endeared himself to my heart even after he died. Why? The way he exercised authority in the house. The way he exercised authority in the house. And I remember, I think probably in my 30s, his household were having, family feud, sibling against sibling and all of that. I dared to God to summon up courage, and I wrote him. That was my first time to appreciate him, because I didn't like all the talking, bagging, all that was happening in the household. I grew up there, so I treasured it. And I spoke to him. You have always been an example of a father I looked up to. And you had done this, that. And this time that the family is having all this feud, please help us square these fights. He endeared himself to my heart. So, beyond the fact that preachers will so overemphasize the fact that Esther must have been very obedient to Mordecai, that's why she was able to become a queen. But I want to look beyond the physical things. There must have been things, definitely, things, the word of Mordecai meant a lot to her. The decisions of Mordecai meant a lot to her. His caring heart. How many knows that you can feel a caring heart? Not just the words. You can feel a caring heart. So that caring heart must have impacted her to the point that when she was in power in the palace, the word of Mordecai meant the whole world to her. So I will look at their relationship and that obedience to Mordecai's voice as the loyalty she had towards her uncle. May God give every girl a Mordecai in your family. May God give every girl a Mordecai in your family. Not the ones that will abuse you. So I see the loyalty between Esther and Mordecai. When Mordecai said, if you think you'll be safe because you are the queen, forget it. Maybe God brought you to the throne for this very moment. That word it sank deep into her. And out of loyalty, commitment, respect, honor, she took that word and acted on it.